So recently, Jonathan Roumie from The Chosen appeared on The View, and as you might have expected, it took approximately 4 seconds before they ruined the whole thing by bringing up race and politics. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish. Today we're going to take a few minutes to break down this interview and discuss the subtle and not so subtle ways they try to pin Jonathan Roumie in a corner with their political opinions. So right off the bat, before Roumie even comes out, this is the clip they chose to play from the show.
Your obsession with what is clean and unclean goes farther than God intended and does no good for anybody but yourself.
We tithe everything so the poor can benefit, down to the smallest plants grown in our gardens.
And to that I say, woe to you Pharisees! You tithe mint and dill and cumin, measuring carefully the last speck while neglecting what is actually important of the law. Justice and mercy and faithfulness. You blind guides, straining out an act while swallowing a camel. Look at these people. What have you done to help?
Now, after a few quick formalities, they immediately began discussing the central tenets of Christianity and how God's grace is irresistible, which naturally led to the old great debate about Calvinism versus Arminianism and limited atonement versus general atonement. Nah, I'm just kidding. They started talking about how Jesus wasn't a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white guy.
You play Jesus.
You?
We were just saying, at least you're not a blonde, blue-eyed Jesus, finally.
Yeah, I think we've gone a little more authentic to who Jesus might have actually been.
Jewish.
I think what was fascinating to me is growing up, I always saw the blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus.
Yeah.
Right? And now I go to a Black Catholic church and Jesus is brown.
Yeah.
And I think it seems that you took such great pains to do that in this and to portray him as he probably likely was, since this was the Middle East, right? Most people don't know that. Yeah. And he's also Jewish.
I don't really understand the secular woke obsession with making this point. Outside of the left's open disdain for white people and desire to turn Jesus into some sort of DEI Santa Claus, everyone knows Jesus was a Jew from the Middle East. We're not in 7th grade. You're not blowing anyone's minds here. And this is the point they're going to try to wedge here. They want to pin Roumie into saying Jesus agrees with them on all these social issues and conservatives are weaponizing religion to hurt their opponents, but thankfully he doesn't take the bait.
So in the clip that we saw earlier, which shows Jesus speaking up for marginalized people, the poor, etc., which is the Jesus that we love, not everyone interprets that message the same way these days. Religion in this country even seems weaponized at times. As a man of deep faith, which you obviously are, does that frustrate you at all?
You know, in that clip, we see Jesus basically taking to task the Pharisees that have essentially perverted the law or taken the faith and made it about the specificity in the letters of the law versus the heart of the law versus the community. You know, they were taking great pains to follow the law at the expense of the followers. And there was injustice in that. And, you know, anytime you see injustice taking place, Jesus is not going to be happy about that. And so I think the fact that we see him speaking his mind about it, I think he gave us a really tough example to follow, you know?
This was an excellent sidestep he did here. He didn't really take sides, but he corrected them in a very polite way. You know, I like how they're saying religion is being weaponized while actively trying to weaponize religion. I mean, even Joy Behar's modifier here that that's the Jesus we love suggests that there are parts or portrayals of Jesus they don't like. And I imagine it's probably the ones that focus less on the poor and marginalized and more on the life and marriage issue. You know, it's funny that they don't discuss anything else from the Bible there. They're content to bring up blanket terms that they've fudged the meaning of so that they can include nearly anything they want. Because after all, what's poor and marginalized in one of the richest and freest countries in the world? I think we've seen how loose the left is with those terms. But let me know what you think. Are you a Christian? Would Jesus be woke? Do you care that religious depictions of him may not be accurate? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Boy!